Hello, I'm Mike Hodgson. I'm the CEO of Serabi Gold, and pleased to actually give a presentation again to Crux Video. I'm here at Palito mine in the Tapajos, and happy to give you an update of where we are after our successful first quarter of 2024.
Yeah, good start to the year. Not a bad last year as well. So, but let's start with gold at the moment. Okay, I'll get into the numbers, but obviously the gold market, gold price for producers, which you are, has changed the fortune of many. I mean, how are you viewing this? Were you expecting it to rip so quickly?
No, I don't think anyone will.
Very honest.
But for us, it's not just the gold price in dollars; it's in reais. We're through 12,000 reais an ounce. This time last year, it's 5,000. Normally, there's been a natural hedge between the real exchange rate, the dollar, and the gold price. So, gold price goes up, and everyone thinks, "Oh, you guys are you're killing it." Normally, the real strengthens, and our costs are 85, 95%, 90% in reais. We normally get a little bit of a compensation. Therefore, we don't really see that those bigger sort of margins people might think we do. This time, last year the real, I think we averaged about 5.15. It's still sat above 5, and we've got this gold price as well in dollars and in reais, which is great. We're now 12,000 reais an ounce. Never been anywhere near that before. I mean, okay, it's only been a month like that, but if it continues like this, Q2, Q3, we're going to enjoy it, and it's going to be really. Yeah, you're right. Goes to our bottom line. We've got two mines. There's a big fixed cost there in our operations with labor and power. And therefore, if you simply have gold price going in Brazilian Reais, yeah, it goes to the bottom line.
Happy days. Okay, happy days. But with mining there, well, actually, why don't we sort of talk about Q1 numbers? I was there; they were good. But just remind us what those numbers were.
Okay. Well, we're on our guidance for 2024 is 38,000 ounces. We have programmed or budgeted to have a 9,000 ounce Q1, a 9,000 ounce Q2, and then 10,000 Q3 and Q4. That's as Coringa begins to kick in more, and hopefully people remember that we're scheduling to have a crushing plant and ore sort. We revised our process at Coringa. Palito steady state, doing its things, it's done for many, many years. A 25,000 ounce mine. Coringa is going to ramp up, and we changed the process flow sheet. People recall that we're now not going to build a very big process plant that would cost us probably today $30-40 million. We're going to just simply put in a crushing plant, which we're getting overhauled, and an ore sorter, which we've already got one at Palito. We're going to replicate it, put it in at Coringa, and that's going to be up and running at the end of Q3, which means in Q4 we're going to have a bit of a bumper quarter because we're going to have a lot of stockpile ready to put through that ore sorter as well. And in the meantime, so we're on target to actually be on guidance. That's great news. On the ore sorter itself, very pleased to say that it was purchased obviously in end of Q4 last year and Q1, so we spent a bit of money doing that. It's already arrived in Brazil, sailed through customs, which is an absolute wonderful news because quite often these things can get trapped in customs in Brazil, sailed straight through. It's on its way to site. Fantastic. The actual crushing plant is being renovated too. So we think we'll have the crushing plant up and running early Q3, which will be fantastic. And then the ore sorter will be dovetailed in, joined up, and by end of Q3, we'll have the ore sorter up and running. That'll be tremendous.
Okay, so bumper Q4 potentially for you guys, which is fantastic. So I think at the very least, you're saying, well, you're reasonably confident about hitting guidance, which is good, and maybe able to do a bit more. That kind of leads you into 2025. Obviously, where you're starting from a very different position. What are the other things going on in terms of being able to increase that production and move through? Because we talked before COVID came along, before supply chain issues happened and restriction of movement of people, etc., came along. You were talking the game of being able to kind of build this thing, both projects up, add the ounces, and grow this into 45, 50, 60,000 ounces. People got excited about that. How do you go from where you are today to being able to deliver that?
I've got to do all this in order. There's a lot to sort of get through here. Okay. Back this time last year, even earlier, our stock was sitting. We had a market cap of like $20 million. We were down at 22p a share. it was tough. This is what the plan we're doing today, and still is our plan, is what we call the capital light plan. It's our pathway to 60,000 ounces because we can do it out of treasury. That's it. The plan was, quite simply, this year, 38,000 ounces, then ramping up and get to 60 over the next 2 years. So probably next year, mid to high 40s, the year after, a big hole in 60. How are we going to do that? We don't need to do a thing in our process plant at Palito. All we need to do is put in a crushing plant and the ore sorter at Coringa and ramp up Coringa. That's it. So we'd have two mines, one doing 25, the other one doing 35 or 30, around there. That'll be it. That plan is a really good plan. It's because the road got paved, it's because the trucking cost collapsed, and it's because we have capacity at the Palito plant because of South Chico falling away, we had space. And if we could feed the plant with high quality, high grade, pre-concentrated or sorted ounces, we could squeeze more gold through that plant and get it up to 60. That was the plan. Now, one thing that we want to do, as well as doing all of that, is we are going to do a new resource update and a new reserve and a new PEA this year with NCL, who just did our one at Palito. The reason we're doing that is we don't have a public document to support what I've just said. So the whole idea is to have a PEA in the market early Q3, obviously. Now that could become important. I'll come on to why in a second. We also believe at the end, so all these things are coming together at the end of Q3. We're going to have the ore sorter operation at Coringa. We're going to have a PEA in our hands. And I also believe that the LI, the long-awaited LI, now we're operating Coringa under the trial mining license, which is absolutely fine. The LI is not going to change a thing with what we're doing at Coringa. All it'll do is it gives us the option, I suppose, down the track to build the full process plant. But what it does, it takes away the final, missing piece of the jigsaw in Coringa. And I would say at that point, the company would be fully valued. It would be completely de-risked. We'll have a new 43-101 at Palito. We'll have a new 43-101 at Coringa. We'll have an LI at Coringa. The company would be at that point fully valued, wherever that be. I also think, so having all these things in our hands, the next step would be, well, you're taking 3 years to ramp up to 60,000 ounces. Now, what could we do? We could do better than that. We could do an accelerated plan, which means the reason it's taking 3 years is because we're doing it at Treasury. Each year, we are actually doing something. Like this year, a capital project. This year, we're doing the ore sorter and the crushing plant. Next year, it will be opening up the second mine at Coringa to actually have that next leap in production ounces. The third year, we'll be putting in a ball mill at Palito to actually, get us up to maximum, which takes us beyond 60 and get us up to 70. And that's important because the two mines really, one's a 30,000 ounce mine, the other one's a 40,000 ounce mine. So 60 will not quite do it. We need a little bit more. Now, but 60 was a good first base to get to, and then maybe a little bit more. If we had additional funding or additional funds, we could do all this a lot faster. We could try to do it all in 2025, for example. So, as our share prices come up, it does make that possibly an option. It also means access to debt will probably be better. But hey, if this gold price keeps running, we might fund it out of margin. So, that's what we're getting quite excited about. And, this year 38, next year I'd say over 45, the year after hole in 60. That's the plan. But as I said, we might be able to improve on that if we can actually accelerate it even more.
So the ambition's there, and I think you, like quite a few companies the past 3 years have been, obviously cash constrained. We've talked about the desire to, but not necessarily the ability to fund exploration, and I'd like to talk about that in a second in terms of what else is coming down the line on that front. But I can't have that conversation without talking about the Vale announcement. Now, they've said that they are not going to go forward. I know it was only like a 12-month agreement, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Is that right? Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Maybe explain to people what that agreement was, and then maybe why Vale have kind of stepped away from that project and what that tells us, or how that informs us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit frustrating because we were going on very well. We've been marked down a fair bit for this bit of news. It really is such a sideshow for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why people have reacted to it so
explain
badly.
it to them. Explain it to them, because I think people think, well, the people's expectation, Vale comes in, or Rio comes in, or BHP comes in, or
they're going to buy the company.
But the reality is BHP, Rio, and Vale's, they have 20, 30 of these things on the go at any one time. But I'm just kind of conscious that they.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so absolutely. they need big projects. So they want different things from you, but at the same time, it's a good endorsement if things go right. So what has something not gone right for them?
Well, it was a great endorsement at the time when the company was struggling with permitting at Coringa, and we had some sort of negative press at the time, which was, untrue, but Vale coming in, it was great timing in many ways, because they came in, and I think people then thought, well, a company like Vale aren't going to invest in a company that's actually misbehaving or anything like that. So it really did serve a purpose for that reason. The details of the deal, 12-month deal, 12-month allowance, we agreed that they were interested in a copper porphyry deposit prospect that we have called Matilda. We had drilled it, got 3 holes into it, and it was very interesting. That's what they wanted to do. We have no interest in copper. We have no interest in large-scale copper like that. We would blow our brains out trying to do something like that. So it has to be handed over to a big company to do that. What we want, and there are an overwhelming amount of opportunities in and around Palito of gold prospects. We had 7 tenements, of which Matilda was one. There were 6 others that were all gold prospects or contained gold prospects that had either been artisanal mines or had lots of mineral occurrences that certainly looked like it. And we were at the point, as in many a country, Brazil is no different. You can't sit on exploration ground forever. We had 7 tenements that we actually had to do work on in 2023 and submit what's called a final exploration report, February 2024, to either continue with the ground or give it up. We wanted to continue with all 7 of them. So what Vale did, the agreement was they spent $2.5 million on Matilda, and then they gave us $2.5 million.
Hunting for copper.
Yeah. Yeah, hunting for copper.
Yeah, only copper. Okay.
And then half of the budget was to be given to us to actually drill out and work on the other 6. And we did that. So
hunting for gold.
Gold, small, higher grade, our
copper,
stuff, which they
gold.
have absolutely no interest in whatsoever. No interest in whatsoever. So they drilled. So that's what the funding was used for. We successfully submitted the reports. We have actually found or moved forward 2 or 3 of those 6 gold tenements, which look super interesting. 2 of them in particular, Sao Domingos, which we did a press release on last week, which looks really interesting, and another one called Calico, which is very near the Palito plant. And that does look like has all the hallmarks of being another Palito. Why is that important? It's super important because we are a company with 2 mines and 1 process plant. And, I've talked to you earlier on about, how we're going to get to 60,000 ounces, maybe 70,000 ounces by plant expansion at Palito. The LI that we get at Coringa will actually give us the opportunity to build a plant at Coringa should we so wish down the track. But, really, we need more plant capacity, I believe, in not too distant future. And therefore, we need to know, are we going to find more ounces in another Palito near Palito? Or are we going to grow Coringa and find more ounces at Coringa? Because we're either going to put a plant at Coringa to actually create space at the Palito plant or make the Palito plant even bigger. So the gold exploration in and around Palito, which is what the Vale money was used for, was really all about trying to begin the path, put us on the path to actually realizing the potential in and around Palito. So why did Vale not continue? I can't say too much about what's going on within the internal part of Vale, but it's they're going through their challenges, and there's a lot. As you
which division of Vale are we talking
about?
Vale-based
metals, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And if you read about Vale-based metals, it's a bit of they've got their challenges at the moment, and there's about 20 odd companies like Serabi waiting on what Vale wanted to do. Even if Vale had continued with the agreement, they wouldn't help us anymore on gold. They were off copper. They just continue with Matilda, drilling out Matilda, which at a very slow rate. So it served its purpose. That's it. And probably now we are looking at getting probably a more suitable partner in to help us with the greenfield exploration, which might be a company that's actually probably more interested in the gold. Ideally, a company that probably wants big gold And if we keep finding smaller gold deposits, which I think we will, that will benefit us, and probably they'll do that. So anyway, let's see. We're talking to a number of companies who want to pick up where it left off. But as far as I'm concerned, it was a great arrangement. It served its purpose, and it's run its course, and that's it. And I think it's what you say. People see them leaving as some kind of negative endorsement to us. Not at all. I think they just probably decided, well, maybe after 21 holes, Matilda wasn't going to be as easy as they thought, and therefore they think they can find an easier copper target somewhere else.
Okay, so if I was just saying the market should not be marking down for the Vale thing. I mean, one, because it happens all the time, but two, it gave you the budget on the gold component, not the copper component, $2.5 million to explore the 6 tenements which you'd have lost if you'd not spent money, and you were cash constrained and you couldn't spend money on. So they filled a purpose, and then 2 or 3 of these tenements you're going to keep on, one of them being close to the...
We're going to keep all 6 on, but 2 or 3 are looking...
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, no,
2 or 3 are looking good.
Yeah,
okay,
2 or 3 are going to be prioritised. Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Absolutely. Yeah.
I totally get it. Okay, so you've explained how you're going to work towards the 60,000, possibly further route over the next couple of years. The question there for you is how it's financed in this current growing price environment, because it's kind of straight to the bottom line, but it's also, I hate to use this phrase, it's not entirely true, but it's free money for producers.
Can I just take you back, Matt? I mean,
sure.
2.5 years ago, we had this plan, and there was no way we could fund the development out of Coringa out of cash flow. Not a chance.
I think the thing I remember about you 2.5 years ago is trying to sort out your balance sheet with one of your major shareholders who wanted out. That's what I was. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we actually we started Coringa because we had a trial mining license there, and it was basically gun to the head, use it or lose it.
Yeah. Got it.
So we started developing Coringa. We hadn't got the money to do it. We thought, how the hell can we start this mine up? And the first plan, I was thinking about this the other day, was to drive down the decline, get to the first ore bodies, because there was no development there at all, just drill holes. If we get to the first 2 veins of the Cerazo, and put in some lateral development on the reef, on the vein, to actually demonstrate some continuity and get some confidence about the deposit, we could probably go to a lender or somebody and get some dough. That was the plan. Well, we just kept going, and the price kept going up, and the margin kept improving, and we kept going. And here we are today. We're building the whole bloody thing out of okay, we've taken on a bit of in-country debt, $5 million, but we are essentially doing the whole thing out of Palito and now Coringa ounces. It's kind of self-funding. And 2.5 years ago, absolutely impossible. Now, it's getting even better. So all the free cash flow we're generating is going back principally into Coringa to do all the things we thought we'd have to borrow money from or raise equity on. And this was because the company just, with a share price where we were, and with the permit actually not even having the underground mining permit still it's still basically at risk. There was no way we could borrow money, and there was no way we could raise money. We had to do it all out of our gold. Our gold production funded everything. Well, 3 good things have occurred now. The gold price has gone up. We've got the underground mining license, and we've obviously got the ore sorter coming. So, and hopefully we'll have a new PEA in Q3, and we'll have the ore sorter up and running. And it's just going to get, better and better. So if the gold environment continues in parallel to all of that, it's good times are coming.
Couldn't agree more. I'm going to stop it there, because I think we've covered everything I wanted to cover. I think there's a lot of positives there, and it's amazing what a little bit of money allows you to do. I kind of think back, you always knew what you wanted to do, but being cash constrained is a case of sort of juggling things around and picking the it's like picking the best of a bad option, really. You know what I mean? In terms of you've got a restricted set of tools on the table with which you can work, and you've got to get through it. And sometimes the markets do that to you. But I think now it kind of feels like for gold should be a good year. People are looking at gold investing, and the first thing they're looking at is at gold producers. So well done. More of the same, please. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Yeah, well, good. You know, as I said, we're not overwhelmed with cash. I mean, you know, but in the past it was always, do we drill those 5 drill holes, or do we, you know, do another 50 meters of ramp at Coringa? It was literally that level of, you know, what could we had a little bit of money left each month to do something, and that was it. And at least now we can, you know, do a modest brownfield exploration program, you know, and continue the development of Coringa. And as I said, we've got the toys coming to obviously get the plant up and running, and that'll be great. And so, you know, all being well, we'll have a very kind of pivotal Q3 where the PA will be done, the full license will finally arrive to sort of de-risk the company, well, basically fully value the company, and we'll be switching on the ore sorter. So I'll be looking forward to that day. That'll be a real milestone for us.